Hey everybody, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Dan, and welcome to the first segment in our series, Cooking with Dan. It's a working title. I feel like when we talk about Asian culture or about growing up, it's really hard to separate those memories with the food that I ate with my family. And so in honor of Asian Pacific American Heritage Month, I figured that why not we highlight one of my favorite dishes in the whole world, Char Siu. For me, growing up as a kid, my dad would always prepare this at our own Chinese restaurant. But if you've ever walked around a Chinatown and you've seen outside the restaurant windows a bunch of red meat that's been hanging out and glistening in the heat, that essentially is what Char Siu is. It's super delicious, it's super tender, and also economical. I mean, let's be real here. How can you beat $5 for a whole box of Char Siu rice and veggies? For today, we're gonna be looking at how we can make Char Siu at home. This is gonna be really helpful, especially for anyone who probably doesn't live next to a Chinatown or doesn't have immediate access. And so this is something that you can easily make at home. Let's go. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is start with your meat. I got my pork shoulder from a local butcher shop, and this batch should be good for about 1 to 2 pounds. Now, when cutting the meat, you really want to be sure that you want it to be not too thick where it's not going to cook evenly, and not too thin where it's going to overly burn in the oven. I recommend cutting it about 1 inch thick and cutting it evenly so that it gets equal heat within the oven. Feel free to wrap it in some butcher paper and set it aside, and head over to your sauce counter to make the marinade. To start, we're going to need 3 tablespoons of sugar, then 2 teaspoons of Chinese 5-spice, followed by your favorite Shaoxing Rice Wine. We'll need 2 tablespoons of that. You can also use dry sherry or mirin, but whatever you do with these alcohol agents, please do not drink it. Grab your favorite dark soy sauce and pour 1 tablespoon of that. And then grab your hoisin sauce and then put 2 tablespoons of that as well. Now, grab your sesame oil and grab 1 teaspoon of that and throw it in there. And for one of my favorite sauces, grab your oyster sauce. Be sure to smell it and reminisce on the Pearl River Delta, but also add 1 tablespoon of that. Finally, add some pinches of salt and white pepper powder and give it a stir. Some restaurants also use red food coloring here, or also, if you're super traditional, add some red fermented bean curd. Now, what you can't see here is I'm mashing 2 cloves of garlic, and as well as chopping 3 slices of ginger to be put in the marinade as well. Grab your meat again, and this time throw it in a freezer, Ziploc bag, or something of the sort to hold the marinade. Pour 2/3 of the mixture you just made, and make sure you save the rest of it and put it in the refrigerator for roasting day. Then grab the ginger and cloves of garlic that you smashed and throw it in the bag as well. Get all the air out, zip it up, and be proud because you just made the first step. Throw it in the refrigerator, and then we'll come back and revisit it on the next day. Okay, it's the next day, and also remember to put on some pants. All right, go ahead and grab a baking tray and line it up with some aluminum foil. In addition, grab some wire racks that you can rest the pork on just to let the air circulate around the meat. And be sure to put some water on it too to avoid scorching your tray. Now preheat your oven to about 425 degrees Fahrenheit and grab the marinade meat that you made from the night before. Take it out, and also feel free to discard all the ginger and garlic that's been resting on it as well. And set it aside and place it into the oven. Okay, now grab the sauce that you made left over from last night, and now grab some honey. We're gonna add about 3 tablespoons worth into the marinade. This is what's gonna give that meat that rich caramelization and as well as char that we're looking for. After about 20 minutes or so, pull out the pork and flip it on the other side so that it also gets a roasting, and we're gonna let that sit for another 20 minutes as well. Up next comes the basting. Grab a brush and pull out the pork that's been roasting for the past 40 minutes or so. Take our honey marinade combo and just feel free to be generous. Just lather it all over the pork. Don't leave any side untouched. Let it sit for about 5 minutes before pulling it out and doing it again. Oh, and be careful. Ooh, almost got burnt. Damn! Flip it on the other side and give it another go. Once you're finished basting both sides and it's been in the oven, now you're ready. Just take it out and let it sit. Let that smoke just evaporate into the air. And let it sit and cool for about 10 minutes. It's gonna be really hot. But that's about it. That's your Char Siu right there, and it's almost ready to go. While you're at it, take the leftover marinade that you still have and give it one last coating before serving. After your 10 minutes are up and the meat is cooled down a bit, transferred onto a cutting board, grab the sharpest knife you got and some tongs, and slice it up. In a lot of dishes, this is traditionally sliced into thin pieces, as you'll find it on this Hong Kong style dish with rice and bok choy. You also find it in a lot of baos. You can also do dumplings, or take it up a notch into this banh mi. I hope you enjoyed making this dish with me. Feel free to pair this up with your favorite drink like this milk tea here, and I'll catch you in the next one. Please post your comments below.